Hello, my name is Kelsey Elder. I am a freshman in college working towards my associate's degree for liberal arts. Once I receive my associate's degree, I then plan to transfer to Ferris University or Central Michigan University and receive my bachelor's degree in elementary education. I currently work in an elementary school as a paraprofessional and plan to one day become a teacher at the same elementary school. Alright, that's enough about me. Now let's talk about biotechnology and food. I chose biotechnology and food because it is a product we deal with on an everyday basis. What is a genetically modified food organism? Another term for genetically modified organisms is Gmos. It is a food organism that is modified genetically from its original state to be more nutritious for an individual. Scientists change the DNA of any organism to whatever they want in the science labs. Next is what are GMOs intended to use? GMOs intended use is to produce cheaper crops, use less herbicides and pesticides, produce more at a cheaper price, produce more nutritious foods, and they are not able to be destroyed by weather or natural disasters. How were GMOs invented? GMO foods have been available to consumers since the early 1990s. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, have worked together to produce more nutritious and less harmful crops. They wanted to have less chemicals such as pesticides and herbicides sprayed on the crops. Another thing is they wanted to ensure it would be safe for the environment and the health of those who would consume the product. Those three groups worked with scientists to ensure all that would take place and invented the first genetically modified tomato in 1994. And have been modifying more since. Some ethical issues that I found are cheaper foods makes it easier for people to afford, more nutritious crops are being produced that have not been tested for safe consumption, there has been allergens found in certain crops, human health effects have occurred like antibiotic resistance, immune suppression, and cancer. Kids in Hawaii are getting sick from consuming the GMO crops. Some things to know about GMOs. It is an organism that has been changed using technology to modify its DNA. They can be more resistant to pesticides and herbicides. Only a few types of GMOs are grown in the United States. I believe there's only 10 crops that were grown in the United States. Many federal agencies like the FDA, EPA, and USDA all work together to ensure safety to humans, environments, and animals. Labeling of GMO organism is not very strict unless it contains a common allergen. So stores can have GMO foods being sold without a label saying that they are GMO. Foods could be more resilient to natural disasters. Plants are able to be sprayed with weed killers and have no effect on the crop itself. The grocery industry believes it is the role of the federal government to enforce standards that ensure the safety of our nation's food supply. The grocery industry is not taking any extra steps in making sure that these crops are safe for human consumption. Some pros of genetically modified organisms. GMO crops have been proven safe through testing and use and can even increase the safety of common foods. GMO crops lower the price of food and increase nutritional content. Growing leads to environmental benefits such as reduced pesticide use, less water waste, and lower carbon emissions. Safety for humans to consume is tested in a lab. The safety for humans to consume is tested in a lab. What are some cons of genetically modified organisms? GM crops have not been proven safe for human consumption through human clinical trials. They've only been proven safe in labs. Tinkering with the genetic makeup of plants may result in changes to the food supply that introduce toxins or trigger allergic reactions. Some GM crops harm the environment through the increased use of toxic herbicides and pesticides. Long-term effects after consuming GMO foods are unknown. We don't know what the chemicals are going to do to the environment. And we are eating added chemicals just for the crops, just so the crops can be resistant to pesticides and herbicides. Here is my works cited page where I found all my helpful information. Here is my works cited for the pictures that I used in my presentation. Goodbye!